The growing fear over what plastics are doing to our planet and people's health has now escalated to a point where there is a UN-led conference today to come up with a comprehensive plan to fight it. And one of the great climate writers of our time is warning in a new column titled, "You Are Contaminated," that from plastics to forever chemicals, it is no longer entirely rational to imagine an escape. That writer joins me now, the New York Times' David Wallace Wells, author of the book, The Uninhabitable Earth, Life After Warning. It's good to have you here, although I have to say that many members of my team read this before we asked you to come on. They left feeling very informed and very terrified. Should we be terrified?
I think the short answer is no.
Good.
We're looking at the landscape of human health around the world, and you can see some signs of concern. There's a rise in colorectal cancer among young people. There are probably some issues related to fertility. The science is young, which means we may be learning a lot more in the years ahead. Things may look grimmer. But right now, I think it's like any kind of pollution. It's not something that destroys an individual life when you first come into contact with it. It's something that you can see over the span of a population, and which we have to tackle at the population level, at the policy level, at the social level too, not worrying so much about whether we throw out our plastic spatula or what kind of playground our kid plays on, but thinking more holistically, how do we try to design a world that's full of much less waste? Because now we know that waste is not just all around us, it's literally inside us.
So, to that point, let's take plastics, which, as you point out, have been found in mountaintop clouds, Arctic snow, crashing waves, the flesh of fish, stalks of plants, even the depths of the ocean near Guam. And we are, as humans, you write, permeable creatures, to your point of it's in us. We've all probably heard about a spoon-sized amount of plastic in our brains. Where else is it, and what does it mean for our health potentially if we don't do something about it?
Well, I'll talk about the health in 1 second, but just to pause on the first observation, which is that it is everywhere. And we may tell ourselves that we can get away from it or that we can stop it from penetrating us. I think the lesson of all of this research is you go up into the stratosphere, it's there. You go up down into the depths of the ocean, it's there. You go into the depths of the Amazon, freshly fallen rain in Japanese forests. Not to mention in our placentas, in our breast milk, in our blood marrow, in our bone marrow, in our semen. It's everywhere, which means I think the first lesson is it is not escapable. We have to limit it, but we can't get away from it. And I think that teaches us something really profound about our connection to the environment. We have a desire in the 21st century as wealthy people in the rich world to think that we can navigate our way through the world as perfectly autonomous individuals. We make life choices about behavior, lifestyle, professional choices, and these will shape the length of our lives and the kind of lives we lead. I think a lot of this science is telling us, in fact, at least on the margins, many of the most profound features of our life are determined by forces outside of our control. If something doubles our risk of cancer, maybe we don't see that precisely in our own lives because the risk goes from a very small fraction to a slightly less small fraction. But at the population level, we can see real damage. And that is, I think, the future we're heading into. What does it mean in the big picture? I think we're likely to see, against long-term trends in which things like cancer rates are getting better, some areas of concern. I think we're likely to see some new patterns of disease emerging and some new behavioral patterns emerging too. We don't yet know. This is young science. Scientists are just starting to identify the field. They call it the exposome. And I think we're going to learn a lot more in the years ahead. But I think a first hurdle to clear is to say we are not perfectly autonomous creatures. We navigate a world that is affecting us as we are transforming it as humans. And that's a very different conceptual space than many of us like to live in. And I think that's one reason why it's so uncomfortable.
We only have a minute, but I also want to ask you about the compounds known as forever chemicals in eggs, in seafoods, in plastic wrap, nonstick pans, right? The health links to lead alone, pretty scary. Can the threat be stopped?
Well, I think, as with anything, if you stop producing the bad stuff, it becomes, less problematic for future generations.
Is the problem we love a lot of our bad stuff?
I think that's one part. I think in America we're dealing with an administration that has no interest in protecting the health of the population and instead wants to enable corporate greed. But of course, that's not the whole story because this is a global story. And I think that gets to your point, which is that unfortunately we've gotten really dependent on the comforts and pleasures of a lot of the things to which these are the side effects. And we don't want to think about them. We don't want to have to pay the cost, but unfortunately we will be.
The good news is you say in this column that it's the first in a series, so there will be more for us. I highly recommend it to people. It is riveting and it's important. David Wallace Wells, thank you for coming in.